We are going to build a note-taking application using Room database. What's up guys, and welcome to Master Coding channel. My name is Abbas and welcome to the complete Android developer course and the Jetpack course. So in this tutorial we will learn how to make a complete and real application that stores, create, delete and update notes using Room database. So what is Room? What is the difference between SQLite and Room, and how to manipulate Room database inside Android application? In this tutorial, we will dive through every topic and every single idea in details. So if you are looking for learning Android, Flutter, and other coding languages in a professional way, you came to the right channel. Please subscribe below, hit the bell so you don't miss anything, and subscribe and like and comment. Thank you guys. Let's begin making our professional and $1 million application. What is the Room database app, and what are the main components of this application? As I said before, Room is a part of Android architecture components. So, of the Jetpack. So the table of content, and we are going in this series in the next couple of videos. We are going to make these steps, these 7 steps. First of all, adding the dependencies. Second, entity. Third, we'll learn what is DAO. And 4 is a database. 5, the adapters. 6, the edit activity. And 7, the main activity that will display the list of nodes. So we are going to make an app that contains, or you can add the and update or delete the nodes inside it using the Room database. So let's start making and adding the needed dependencies. First of all, in order to use the Room database, we are going to add the Maven URL in the project Gradle, and then add the dependency of Room in Android X. So let's create a new Android project and add these dependencies. So open Android Studio and make sure you have the latest SDK installed and configured in your PC. So if you want to these SDKs, you can click on the configure SDK manager and check that you have the latest API level, which is R at the time of making this video. So let's start by creating a new project, empty activity, and I will name it Room database or RoomDB application. Okay, and here we go, master coding. And by the way, mastercoding.net will be available soon to contain the all tutorials we want to display. So waiting for the Android, and this is the application. So first of all, we need to go to the Gradle file. So let's go to the Gradle file and the project. Let's add here. We can add the Maven, or we can left it blank because Android X. So I'm using the Android X. So if you have Android and without Android X, if you are using the pre-Android X version, you need to add the dependency Maven URL. Now, because I'm using the Android X, I'm just going to make a Room version a variable, which is the latest one of at the time of making this video is 2.24. You can update the room version. Now I'm going to implementation of Android X dot room runtime and the variable room version. Now, second one, I annotate the processor, annotation processor, Android X dot room compiler and the variable of and the version of room version. Okay, in this way we are going to sync the project, and it is successful in 1 second. So everything is now good to go and start making our application and room application. And we are building, so remember, we are building an app that makes and takes the note, delete and update these notes for the user and display them in the main activity. So if this is your first time here, please subscribe below and hit the bell so you don't miss any new tutorials. We are doing this tutorial based on your requests, so feel free to comment below if you have any requests or just saying thanks. The entity represent a table within the database. So room creates a table for each class that has an entity annotation. So it is very important to figure this. At entity, this annotation is representing the entity inside the room database. So the fields in this class correspond to columns in the table. Therefore, the entity classes tend to be small module classes that don't contain any logic. So remember from the SQLite database that we need columns. So entity represent these columns. So every module class with the annotation entity will have a mapping table in DB. So the foreign keys, names of the foreign keys, indices, the list of indicates of on the table, primary keys, names of entity primary keys, and the table name. So we have many entities like foreign key, indices, primary keys, and table name. Ignore embedded, column info, and primary keys also. Now, let's move to Android Studio and see how we are going to create the model or entity class. First of all, we go to our Java folder, and I'm going to create a new package just for making it simple to read, and we edit the code. Room DB app, and I will make a new folder called room DB or not DB. Okay, and this folder we are going to make also a package, a new Java class, and this will be called the entity class called Node, which is the model class. It is representing the model class that the variables will be implemented here. So as I told you, entity represent the table name. So we are going to say or to write the table name constants dot table underscore name underscore node. So I'm going to create a new class called constants. Constants with the table name. Sorry, making a new table name node called table node. So here we have table name constant. So I'm going to create a new class called constants. So here, open Java file and NodeDB, Java class called constants. You see that the error here has been solved, and now I will create some variables. So private constants, private, making the constructor constants, and this is the empty constructor, and I'm going to create some variables: public static final string table underscore name underscore node equal to nodes. In this way, it is easier to re-edit edit the files and the names of the strings, the tables, the DB, and other database entities. DB, and it is here essential to be an extension of .db. So after that, we are going to go back to our node. I will close the main activity and the node, and I will implement, this is the table name node, and I will implement the serializable. So what is serializable? It allows you to make the constants and the entities and the exact name. So here at a primary key, as I told you, I will give it an auto-generate equal true. I am telling the Android Studio that this column will be called primary key, and it is auto-generated. So long node underscore ID will be generated. So this is the first column. I will annotate it. The columns. First of all, the primary key called node ID. This is the first column. The second column will be, column name will be a node content instead of content in the table. So at column info, and I will specify the name equal node underscore content. So the column will be content, not content instead of content in the table. So private of type string and content. So just for information, that the name of the column will be node content and not the content. It would be the node content. So the name, here we specify the name of the column, and other variables, private string title and private date, and I will import the date, and here we go. We are clear to start making the variables, constructors and getters and setters. So first of all, constructors. Okay, I will click Alt plus insert the constructor, and I will select the content, string content. I will select the title also, and I will specify this dot date equal new date system dot current time millis. Okay, this is the first constructor. I will annotate the second constructor, ignore as ignore, public note, and here we go, the second constructor. And here we go, we are going to make the getters and setters. So first of all, we specify public date, get date. You can also click about for the getters and setters, and return date. Second one is public void set date, because I'm going to specify every single element for that, so I didn't use the getters and setters used by the Android Studio. And here we go, the date. The third one is public long get note ID, and we will specify return note underscore ID. So are going to specify the set method for this, public void set note ID, and I will pass the long note ID underscore ID, and I will specify this dot note ID equal note ID underscore. Now here we go, we have finished the two, the date and the ID. We still have the content and the title. So public string get content and return content, and public void set content. I'm passing the string content, and this dot content equal the content. Now the third one, the fourth one, the fourth variable and the last variable is the title. So in order to do that, we are going to create a public string get title, public string get title, and pass. We didn't pass anything, and return title. And public string set title string title. They are the setters and getters and title. So we have finished the getters and setters. Okay. Okay, so we have finished the getters and setters, and we are going to create some Boolean functions like public equals like we are going to override equals. Okay, what's happening? Just to consider that. Okay, just here we need to specify this as void because we don't need to return a statement. Now I am going to override a Boolean function called public Boolean and equals. And here we go. I just try to override. So I will click Alt plus insert, override methods and equals. We need this Boolean function. Okay, so I will remove this, specify the object called, and if this we are testing that if this function will contain any object, so it will return true. If the object does not, or the object instance of node, if does not equal to the instance of node, it will return false. It's very simple, just checking for the if we have an instance of node. Okay, and here we go, node and and last thing, if the node underscore ID does not equal to node, to the node dot node ID, return false, because we are checking if there is no ID found in our database, so it is checking that the node ID is presented and we can edit according to the ID of the node. So go null title, is it equal to the node dot title and node dot title equal to null. So we are checking here if the title also, and returning the title. Now here we go, and we need this, and I'm going to add also override a hash code int result equal, I'm casting it to int, and node ID result equals 31. I'm just adding my algorithm and specifying its times the result plus the title does not equal to null, and title dot hash code equal, or 2 points, and return result. Okay, till now just adding some algorithms for multiplying and adding the IDs of the node. And the last one is called toString, and adding toString, return toString. To specify it, we are going to create node okay plus node underscore ID equal plus note underscore ID plus we are specifying some codes, content equal specifying plus content and plus I will add them to increase the speed of writing, and I will paste it. So till now we have finished. This is the symbol used inside the strings, and here we go. We are going to add to string and confirm it, returning the whole statements and the whole note as a note string. So till now we have created in this video the entity we specify the table name, the columns, and we specify the primary key, and we have added the constructor and added the getters and setters, and we have added the equals function that will specify if there is a note object or not, and the hash code. We're adding some algorithm for our function, and a toString to return this note as a block of string. Now, DAOs are responsible for defining the methods that access the database. In the initial SQLite, we use the cursor objects. With Room, we don't need all the cursor related code, and we can simply define our queries using annotation in the DAO class. So we are going to create the DAO inside the Android Studio. So back to Android Studio, and we go to the project. We open the NodeDB, and we are going to create a class called NodeDAO. And it is really an interface. So we select the interface, and here we are going to implement the DAOs. So first of all, we are going to add the query. Okay. But just in order, just 1 second, it's very important to specify that this class, or annotate this class, that it represents the Room database DAO by specifying the annotation of DAO. So now the query I will write here is the query of the SQLite database queries. So select, I'm going to select all from. I'm going to display all from. Okay. We are specifying the constant, the table name, which is from the constant class table name node. Okay. Till now it's very good, and I'm going to create a new list called node and get nodes. Okay. Select from. Okay. We need to add the space in order to work fine. Now, I'm going to insert the data using the insert annotation and we specify the long insert node, and we pass the node object as its argument. Room database is very simple because we are specifying every single query by inserting, deleting, and update in this way, in this very simple way. So I just annotate. So remember, when you want to add the queries, just annotate that I need this void method to update the node, and by passing the node argument. So insert, update, and delete. So delete void delete node and node specifying the node. Okay. Till now we are doing fine, and we have added have added all queries, but I need to delete the list, delete a list or all nodes from the database. So in order to do that, I also annotate delete and add void delete nodes, and here we specify nodes and 3 points and node. Here I'm telling the Android says that I want to delete all nodes from node object, all in these 3 values, 3 points. I'm specifying that an array of object to be deleted. So these 3 points, an array of objects is deleted. So back to Android Studio. We will go to the folder, and we create a node database class. So I will call it node database. Okay, first of all, as I told you, because we are using the room database and architecture component, so we are going to annotate this class as our database. So we are specifying the entities equal the node.class. I'm specifying the columns. So what I'm doing here, I'm just telling the system, the Android Studio, that hey, this is our class, this is the database, and we have the entities, the columns go to node.class and get the columns. So if I click Ctrl plus left click, I will go to the node, and which I previously annotate it as our entity class. So remember, we are telling the database that this class represents the database, having the entities, having the columns as node.class. So go to node.class and get the columns, which are the long ID, the node ID, the content title, and date of type string and date. So it's very simple. If you don't understand, please comment below for any questions, so I can help you. And we are specifying the version of this Android. So type converter, specifying also the type converters, and the database data room converter dot class. So I'm going to create now a class called data room converter and specifying here new Java class called data converter. So this class will function as the converter for type converters. So what I mean, I will annotate type converter and public static date to date, importing and long, specifying long value and returning here the value of equal to null. Go and check null equal to new date and value. Okay, so in this way we are done specifying and converting to date the long value, the argument. Now also just another one type converter and public class, public static, sorry, long, too long, and date value, long date value, and return value equal to null, and specifying here for null value dot get time. Okay, till now we have finished the data room and we are clear to start making and adding the code for our node database. So node database, I will extend it and make it as an abstract class and extends room database. So I am capable now to use the functionality of room database. Public abstract, also an abstract class, node or object, node DAO, get node DAO. Okay, also another private static node database, node DB. Okay, we are fine. Now we are going to synchronize it because to avoid concurrent access in multi-threading environment. So what I'm talking now, we are going to specify telling the system to check and avoid multi-threading access and concurrent access in multi-threading environment. So public static, and in this form I'm going to set the synchronized and synchronized node database get instance and passing the context. Okay, so the context here, as I told you, context. So importing it and checking if null equal to a node DB, then node DB equal to build database instance. instance context, okay, and returning the node DB. So what I have been missing here, the build database cannot resolve because okay, so cannot resolve because it is the method that we are going to create last step here. So underneath this we are going to specify private static node DB node database and our build, and passing the context as an argument. And here we go, this is our class the method, and returning the database builder context and node database dot class and constants dot db name. These are the variables or the arguments that we are passing to the database builder constructor. Allow main queries and dot build. And just last small tiny void method clean up, and we specify here the node db equal to null. Okay, so till now we have finished adding every single element inside our database. So inside the database, so we are going to remove this. And we have learned in this video how to create the class, the node database class, and annotate it with the correct and exact annotation, specifying the columns, the version, and we have added the data room converter. And we have used the by extending the room database, we have used the room database functionalities and characteristics. So we have added the get instance method to get an instance of our database, and we have created a private static node database method or class that will return this by building an object of room database. And last, we have created a cleanup. So let's begin. Start making adapters, class, and see how they will connect with our recycler view and display the items. So inside our Android Studio, we are going to create a new folder called, new package called adapters. So click enter, and I will create a new Java class called nodes adapter. Okay, so I just recalling you that if you want to learn about recycler views or card views, please go back to the complete Android developer course and go to a video called recycler view and card view, or walk through our channel and you will find the complete course about recycler view and card view. Now I will extend this class by using the recycler view, And here, because I didn't import the recycler view package, I'm missing the recycler view.adapter extension. So in order to do that, I'm going to the main activity, and I'm going to the layouts. You can add the dependency here, and Java in Gradle scripts here, or you can do this in order not to be confused by Gradle and not confused by the libraries. So if you want to add recycler view dependency, just go to the layout and click this the download the button and click OK, and wait the Android Studio to download this library. I prefer coding. Coding is using the simple ways to return the results or get the goal. So I'm now going to add the card view also in the same way. Card view and OK. So Android Studio will add the Gradle, the latest Gradle here. So you can write these library codes, implementation, or you can do as I did in the last couple of minutes. Now, because of that, because we have added the dependency, we can now add the recycler view, extend the recycler view dot adapter, and we are going to nodes adapter. We're going to create a nodes adapter here, being holder. Now, what I'm doing, I'm just telling the Android Studio that I need like an adapter of the list, node lists, and some classes we are going to create in next minutes. So now the variables is list of type node. We are using the class node and saying this is the list. Private context, we need the context, and private layout inflator, and private on node item click, So this is the interface we are going to add later on. Now, first of all, we are going to create, don't worry for the errors. As I told you, we are going through this video to create these implementations, these classes, and these interfaces. So first of all, we are going to create a constructor public, or you can alt plus insert, and I'm going to use the node and the context. Okay, so everything is working fine till now. We need just to pass an layout inflator and layout inflator dot from context. So this is good, and just one node item click equal on node item click. So we are going to create it in next minute. I will create here an interface, public interface on item, on node item click, and I will pass void method on node click, taking parameters position and position. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm adding an adapter, creating the adapter, and some variables, creating the constructor and interface for clicking. Now, back to our codes. We are going to create. We are going to override the bean holder method on create view. Okay, on create view bean holder, removing this, and we are going to create the bean holder later on. Until now, we need the view group as parent argument and int view type. So view in order to learn more about on create view holder and holder classes, please refer to the card view videos inside our channel to be master in card views and in recycler views. So inflate r.layout.node list item. So I'm going to create a new layout called node list item. Just follow me to complete this codes and return new bean holder and passing the view. So we have to create the bean holder and create the node list item layout. So resources layout, creating a new layout resource file, and I will name it as node list item. This item will take will show the user how to or the item of the card view or the node will be. In the sake of making the code faster, I will paste the layout. I will paste the layout, and here the card view. I'm using because I'm here getting the error because I'm using the Android X. Android X. I can use Android X dot card view, and here we go. We can now get the content now here. Okay, guys. So in order to make the coding faster, I put it in a copy and paste method. So just making the code here, the text view would be like bold, text style, bold, and like 18 dp or 20. I prefer 20, and the content would be the same. Okay. And the linear layout, the image view, they are inside the image view. We can put whatever you need, the color of them. I would take this, and you can edit as you want. So you can see the code. Here is the code. This is a card view containing a linear layout, and the linear layout containing two text views. You can pause the video and copy and paste these codes, or you can download the source code from Master Android Pro applications on Play Store. Now, back to our Java classes, or you can download the source code from the description below. So don't miss to like and subscribe to get the latest tutorials and latest source codes. Now, we are going to add an bind view holder method. This is the most important method used. So holder dot text view title. Okay, because there is an errors, I'm going to create the bean holder class in order to make the coding faster. So public, I will create a new class, public class bean holder extends the recycler view dot view holder and implements the view dot on click listener. Okay, so implement the methods and construct matching class and adding the variables or the widgets, text view content. This is the text view content, and the text view title. This is the title of our node. So guys, don't be confused. This is the bean holder, this is the bind view holder, this is on create view holder, and this is the interface on click, and this is a constructor, and these are our variables to be used. Don't be confused, it's very simple. As I told you, please refer to card view and recycler view in the complete Android developer course, so you don't miss anything about card views or recycler views. Now, adding click listener, this text view content equal item view dot find view by id r dot id dot item text view title equal item view dot find view by id r dot id dot tv title text view title. Okay, we have added the on click method here. Now just assigning it to the interface on node item click dot on node click get adapter position, and here we go. This is the correct method. So this is the class, this is the bean holder class, This is the view holder. Okay, and back to the bean view holder, just like defining the text views and other widgets. Dot set text list dot get position get title. Okay, everything is good. Holder dot text view content dot set text list dot get position dot get content. In this way, we have finished creating the on-bank view holder. Just one last step. We need to override the get item count method and return the size, the list dot size. We are returning the size of our list. Okay, guys, just a recap, fast recap. We have created the variables, we have created the constructor, we have created the on-click interface, then we have created the on view holder, on create view holder, on bind view holder, on get item count, and last the thing is which is very important, the holder class, which is called bean holder class, that extends the recycler view and implements the view of on-click listener interface. Guys, it's very important to know every step and anchor the knowledge by practice. So open your Android Studio, open your PC, write down some notes, practice, write the codes, pause the videos, write the codes and start again. Try with yourself. I recommend using this way in order to succeed and be a very good developer. We jump into Android Studio, so I'm going to add at the level of the app Gradle file implementation for material design 1.1.0, and I will sync now so we can add the features for our layouts. Now let's create the new activity, empty activity, and I will call it add note activity. So add note activity here, and this is the layout for it. In order to save time and make the layouts very fast, I will copy and paste only the layouts because they are because no need for illustrating them because we the source code will be available to download into onto the comments below. Now I'm going to create a text field input type layout using the material design that we have implemented below, and I will paste it, and here is the code. So what I have done is pasting this little code. The code okay, ignore missing constraints. Okay, if we click on this, we will see the layout is added successfully. So this is for text input. The text input field for that title. So the title will have this layout. Now you can pause the video at this level and copy and paste the codes below. Now I will copy for the content layout that the user will enter the content of the note that we will add. So I will create this linear layout, having an ID text input, having a text input also, text input 2, and we have the input text, edit text, input layout as previously done, and its ID is edit text underscore content. Now the bottom we have added at the bottom, and the background I will change it, and I will see for adding like this. So if we look on the layout, we see that we have added, okay, it is missing the constraints. Don't worry, we will remove the constraints. I will change the size. Okay, because it is a constraint layout, we can change it. So the text input here, we can see and adjust the content of the edit text whatever we need. Okay, I will make a relative layout despite using the code here. I will change here, and I will make the orientation also vertical. Now I will change here the relative layout. Let's see, and here we go. We have done making the relative layout. We can also use the constraint, but because we are using the linear layouts inside the layout like this, I prefer using the relative layouts. Okay, we have done using the layouts. So as a final lookout, you can pause the video and copy and paste the code. This is the first layout or the first line, and the second layout, linear layout, having like this, and also having the bottom, and this is the end of the linear layout and the relative layout. So the relative layout contains the two linear layouts, or text input layout and the linear layout. Now back to the Java code. Here we come. Now as we mentioned before, we will start by variables here to define the text input, the widgets, and the other objects. A private, we will start by private text input. We will start by defining the widget text input, edit text. I will et underscore title and et underscore content. Okay, guys, it's very simple. We have created two edit text. The first one is a title and the second one is the content. Now let's create the objects. If you remember before, we have created a node database class. We will get in this way the object of node database class. Now also getting the node, which is the model as an entity, and we import it, and I will create a variable private boolean update. Okay, till now we have two objects and two variables, and let's start creating and initializing the widgets. So first of all, we will initialize the widgets. Guys, if you have any questions, please comment it below. Just tell us at what minute or what idea you don't understand, and we can contact you and clarify it. Okay, don't miss to download Master Android from Master Android application and Master Android Pro applications from Play Store and Master Flutter. And soon we will release the master coding application that will contain all coding programs and programming languages. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel to get the latest tutorials and the latest updates. Okay, we are defining here the widgets. And we still have the bottom. We didn't define find view by ID r.id dot button save. Okay, I will import the package, import the library of the button. Here I need to define the widgets. Okay, till now we are doing fine. Now objects, initializing the objects. Also we have finished declaring the widgets and defining the widgets, initializing them, and the objects we have created and initiated it, initialized, and we are now declaring and initialize the node database, which refers us for the room database. So in order to get an instance of it, add node activity dot this. We are getting an instance for this database for in our activity. So now checking for the node in the nodes database, check for correct object and date. We will start by if node, since we are getting an object of the node, we need to check the node object get intent dot get serializable extra and called node. You remember we have created before in the previous video about the database. So we will get the support action bar dot set title update node. Update boolean will be now true. Bottom dot set text update. So when the user is updating, the bottom will set to be updated, and the et title, et underscore title, will set the text node dot get title, and et content will set the text node dot get content. Okay, everything is good. Now let's add or handling button click events. So when the user will click the button, well, there is an action that would be executed. Now we will handle the click events. So what we need for that application to do when the user will click the button, we need it to update or create a new node. So in order to do that, we will start by adding the set on click listener, new view on click listener. Okay. If we need to update the node, so the application will check if the update is true. When the update boolean here is true, go and get the node object and set the content to et underscore content dot get text to string. So get the new string and set it for the new text, and go and get the title et title dot get text and to string. Go and get the text from et title and set the title for the updated node as this one. So, and node database object would be get node there dot update node. So go and update the node and set the results, set result node and flag 2 or data 2. Okay, we will set the results just in 1 minute. Okay. Now else node equal new node et content dot get text to string et title dot get text dot to string. Okay, everything is working fine, and we will insert new insert task. These are the two functions that we are going to create in the next minutes. So add node activity dot this, we are passing the context and the node object and dot execute. Okay, we need now to make the insert task and the set result tasks or a method. Here we remove the spaces. Okay, till now we are good, and we remove that going outside the onCreate method. So let's create the set results method. Please guys, if you don't understand anything, please contact us, comment below if you have any questions, so we will reply as fast as possible to help you. note and flag. Okay, we are passing the flag, set result flag. We are here overriding the integrated method of the Android, and we are putting here the intent. We are importing the intent and put extra, and we pass the note and the flag note. Click finish. Okay, everything is working fine. Now let's add the insert task and see how it will work, adding the last method. So this method will requires attention from you to understand all its concepts. So private, we are going to create the insert task. Private static class insert task extends async task. We are going to use the async task to do some work on the background thread. Okay, guys, so if you want the source code, you can download it freely. Private weak reference, add node activity weak reference, and we create the private node. Okay, guys, only retain a weak reference to the activity. I like to comment to know and to ensure that you understand everything. So only retain insert task method, add node activity context, and the node. Activity weak reference equal new weak reference context, and this dot node equal node. Okay, now let's move to the next Boolean function. Okay, do in background methods runs on a worker thread. If you need to know about the threads on, you can go to Master Android Pro applications found on Play Store and download it and see the worker thread and the main thread and background threads and learn about everything about Android. This is our official application. So we are going to override here by clicking Alt or Insert and override method, and we will select do on background, do in background. So this is This is the do in background function, and return true. And here we start retrieving auto incremented data or node ID, since we have defined in the previous videos about define the auto increment annotation for us for this ID database.get node deo dot insert node. We are passing the node into the deo, and node dot set node ID to J. So here we are generating the auto increment ID for that, and we are returning true. And this is, in this way, we have finished the Boolean function, and we still have a last small method we are going to override. Is called on post execute. So click Alt plus insert, override methods, and on post execute. Post execute, we remove it. If a boolean is true, go and execute the following: activity weak reference dot get dot set results, or set the result node, and passing the flag 1 activity weak reference dot get dot finish. Everything is working fine. In this way, we have finished the node activity. So as our quick recap, we have created the layout, we have created the widget, the variables, 3 widgets, edit the input text, edit text, et title and et content, and the button. We have created a boolean called update. We have created the objects of a node and node database. So we have the node database, which is a reference for us as a room database, and the node, which is the entity class or the model class. We have instantiated it, the widgets, the object, and we have checking for the correct object and data entry. We have added the functionals for the button to see if we need to update the button, or we have to create a new node. So then we have setting the results, inserting an async task. We have created an async task. Inside this insert data method, we have an insert task, and we have the do in background method, and we have on post execute. Till now we have created the add node activity. But before we dive in Android Studio, you can download Master Android app from Play Store and learn Android courses. We have 300 and we are updating every day, and the Flutter course, Kotlin course, Java course, and you can take the quiz and the video tutorials. See you guys in Android Studio. So back to Android Studio, we have done by previously. I will rename the main activity as node list activity, since it will display all the nodes created in the database. So we go to refactor, rename, and I will change it to node list activity, and click refactor, and here we go. We open it and we see that there is the default code, the having extending the app compact. Okay, I will start by implementing the notes adapter, and on item or note item click listen. I will click enter, alt plus enter, and I will implement the methods. I click OK, and here we solve the error. This is the first step. The second step, we are going to create the variables and the widgets. So we start by private text view message. Second, I will create a recycler view. I will call it recycler view, and next step we are going to edit these widgets in our layout, importing the package, and private node database, the database that we have created before previous videos, and a private list and note. Okay, notes, click insert, and private note adapter, notes adapter, and private int position. Okay, these are the variables that we are going to use. Now I will jump to the main activity layout. We go down in the activity main, and this is our code. So I will click on the view, and I'm going to remove this text view, and I will go also in the same way to add the layouts needed, or the sections needed in our layouts. So first of all, I will create a copy and paste the code of the linear layout that we are going to use display or having the recycler view. So this is the first linear layout. This is the linear layout. We are having the styles. We are going to edit that styles in next couple of minutes. So the linear layout, this is the linear layout, having the app bar layout and the app compat toolbar, finishing here the toolbar, the app bar layout, and having the recycler view. So pause the video and paste the code in your your Android Studio. Now I will create the include layout equal. I will create a new layout and include it layout underscore or slash content underscore main. This is we are going to create now. And last thing, Android ID include. Okay, this is good. And finally, I'm going to create the floating action bar. I will copy it in this way. I can remove this. You can put 16 dp, and everything is good. The hard coded. Okay. Now let's move to create the content main layout. I will create. Click here, Alt plus insert, Alt plus enter, and create resource called this root element main layout. Here we go. We have created the Android content main layout. Now I will copy and paste also the text view that we are going to display. So text view, and please insert notes. I click here, I'll press insert, and we have added the following XML and S. Okay, everything is good, and we have some properties that we are going to add, like app behavior, and we are going to add the context tools, the context, and the node list activity. Okay, everything is good, and show in layout and the main activity layout slash activity for the node list activity. Okay, activity of the main, and I will show you it here. Okay, everything is good. Now let's see the layout. Here we go, and the content. I will remove the theme. We see okay, the fab. I see the fab because we are adding this, is not an Android fab, it is the Android material floating actionable. Okay, I will add the constraint here and add the constraint here. Okay, everything is good. Now let's see the error in a layout, missing attributes. Okay, we can, because it is the constraint. Okay, everything is working now. Now let's go back to our codes and see how Android Studio will work and configure adding the nodes from our database. I will create the methods here. We are going to initialize the views, initialize views method, and we are going to display list method. Okay, here we go. We are going to create the use two methods. Okay, let's check. We need to fill the node click method, but first of all, let's create these two methods, and we will go back to our click method. Private void display list method, not taking any parameter arguments, and node database. We are going to instantiate the node database dot get instance node list activity dot this, and new retrieve task we are going to create a retrieve task and retrieve task. Yes, I have created good, and in this and dot execute. Okay, till now we are creating, everything is good, and we are going to create the retrieve task. You can create a new task here, or you can add it in the main layout, or the node activity. I will delete this and add the class called inner class. So I will go to create private static class retrieve task. Okay, so this is here, and extending the async task, passing void and passing list of nodes. Okay, Alt plus insert, and do in background we need to add this. Now I'm going to create the variables again in this class. Private week, we see the week reference before videos, and node list activity and activity week reference, or activity, let's say, reference. Okay, I will create now the only retain reference. So the only retain a week reference to the activity. Retrieve task equal, or retrieve task node list activity context and activity reference equal to new week reference, and passing the context. Okay, everything now is working fine. Now let's create another list, protected. We are going, okay, sorry, we have created here the on background, do in background. This is the list, it's very good. Returning statement. So we are going to check if activity reference dot get does not equal to null, we are going to return the activity reference dot get node database dot get node DAO dot get nodes. So if the reference is not empty or not null, we are going to retrieve the nodes. If or else, return null. So we will return null if there is no nodes. Okay, everything till now is well clear, as I think. Now we will create another method that we have seen before. It is called the post execute. So we are going to override Alt plus insert, override methods, and we go to post execute. We will pass the nodes and we will remove the super, and if nodes does not equal to null and nodes dot get or size over 0 or above 0, we are going to create activity reference dot get dot nodes dot clear activity reference dot get dot nodes dot add all. So what we are going to do, if the nodes post execute, when the execution of the async task have finished, go and get the reference. If these nodes does not equal to null and the node size does not equal or above 0, go and clear the reference, then add the reference all the nodes inside it. So we will hide the empty text view that we have created before. So activity reference dot get dot text view message dot set visibility. This way we hide the components or the widgets inside your studio or inside the Android system nodes. After dot notify data set changed. Okay, everything's working fine. We still have to initialize the views and add the activity, click and add on activity results. Now we will stop here because we need to partition the video into 2 parts. So and the next parts we are going to finish the main activity or the node list activity, and we will pull over and run the app. Now we will continue with making the private void, initialize the views, and we'll see on results on activity result application and method. So we'll start by toolbar identification or initializing the toolbar equal new find view id_id.toolbar, and we see the set support action bar to toolbar. Okay, we are going to create toolbar. Okay, context here, and we will fix it soon. Text view message equal find view by id id.tv empty. This is the empty text view. We are going to create initialize the floating action bar fab equal find view by id id.fab and fab dot set on click listener and the listener. So what is the listener? We are going to see here how to create it. We will make the view on click listener because we have implement it here, and next to it, we are going to create the recycler view equal find view by id r.id dot recycler view. Now recycler view dot set layout manager, new linear layout manager, and the context will be note list activity dot this. Okay, and the notes equal new array list, and then the notes adapter equal new notes adapter notes note list activity dot this. The recycler view dot set adapter. If you want to learn about recycler view, go back to the course and select the notes the recycler view and the card view lessons. Okay, so let's create now the listener here that we have an error about it. Private view dot on click listener, and listener, this is the instance of this. So new view dot on click listener, and I will override the on click this way and start activity for result. Okay, new intent, because when the user click on the add button or the fab floating action bar, we are going to start the note list activity by using intents. So note list activity dot this, and we are going to go to add note activity dot class, and we will request code is 100. So in this way it's more clear, and we are done by this. Okay, the last one, or the most important, is the on activity result and the on click. So we'll start by the on activity result. We will override the on activity result, passing the code intent and request code, and if we are going to check the request code equal to 100 since we have passed it, and the result code above 0, we are going to also check if the result code equal to 1. So add notes.add note data.get serializable extra called note, because we have passed the note serializable in this format. Else if result code equal to 2, notes.set position 2, note data.get serializable extra note. Everything is working now fluently, and At note, we need to pass this, and working fine. List visibility. We will pass the list visibility. List visibility method. Okay, we are going to create it, and this method we will create it now. Okay, so why we are getting error on add on activity results, add super call. We don't need to add the super call. Yes. So the list visibility, we will start by creating the empty message visibility equal view dot gone. If notes dot size equal to 0, no items found, no items to display, we will check if the text view message dot get visibility equal to view dot gone. We will set the empty message visibility equal to view dot visible. Okay, here we are checking that no items would be found, so we'll display the message, and text view message dot set visibility to empty message visibility, and notes adapter dot notify dataset changed. Okay, this is the method for now we need to add the codes for the previously created node on node click. So we start by creating an alert dialog that will show to the user when fab is clicked to ask for update or delete notes. Okay, we start by new alert dialog.builder node list activity dot this the delete and the update. Okay, update note, or I will take it as this, and I will pass the new dialog interface dot on click listen click listener, and passing the override method. Now private. Okay, what's happening here? We need the curly braces now. New dialog interface. Here we don't need the method. implement the methods, and here we go. Alert dialog. Okay. Everything is working fine. Now, the onClick method int I and dialog interface. I will create the switch I for the positions. If switch I, the case number 1, case 0 means node database dot get node del dot delete node nodes dot get position. Okay, nodes dot remove position. Okay, then list visibility the method that we have created before. List visibility. Copy. Sorry. And I will paste here. We have a lot of error because of these kernel braces. I will remove it and I will break now. And the case number 2 of having the I equal a value would be the case 1 nodes list activity dot this dot position equal position and start activity for result new intent nodes or node list activity dot this and add node activity dot class and putting the extra for it to pass the node and nodes dot get position. Okay, and having the request code would be 100. Okay, till now we are making everything works fine. We still have to add the break code here. The break code, and we would add the 2. We can remove them, remove the extra spaces, and here we go. We show the text dialog, alert dialog. Okay, we still have to add the small tiny method or override it. It is called on destroy. On destroy node database dot clean up. Okay, till now we are ready to go and we are very excited to run our application. Toolbar, what is the toolbar here? Include make activity toolbar. Where is toolbar? ID Okay, create message, set support action bar because it is app compact. Everything should work after cleanup. So before running, we have an error here. I remove the set from here and initialize the views. I remove the toolbar and add note. We have the file here. Sorry, the main activity. We need to remove this toolbar. I will remove it. Okay. And one last thing that on activity results would not, it's not mandatory to return the support. And the last thing before running, export schema equal to false, because we don't need to have an error in our emulator. And here we go. This is our very amazing app. Please insert notes. I will insert the title, Master Coding Application or Master Coding Channel. Content, subscribe to get latest tutorials in coding and tech. Download. Okay, let's check. Save, and here we go. This is our very first node. Now let's create another one. Download master Android app. Go to Play Store and download the 800 900,000 and the plus users application with 4.7 rating. Okay, let's see, and here we go. Amazing. Let's see about update. We helped millions people like you to learn coding. Let's start. Okay. And here we go. We have it updated. Okay. Everything is working fine, and we can delete the note. Let's create test. Let's save, and we can delete. We can update. Thanks for watching. Update. And here we go. Thanks for watching. And we can create a new note. Say thanks in the comments. Okay, guys. I hope you benefit from this amazing application and this amazing course about the Jetpack. I hope you rate us 5 stars on Udemy. Rate us 5 stars on a Play Store, downloading Master Android and Master Android Pro and Master Flutter applications. And I hope you subscribe to get the latest tutorials every day. We will start by new course. So get ready, subscribe below, comment to push us forward to make new tutorials. Thank you guys. I hope you subscribe, comment, and like. Bye. Bye.